Hello. Hi, everybody. This is Christian Shields here, founder of My Secrets Purpose, and it's time to walk into your purpose. Well, let's just say I'm extremely, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth tonight. I have some notes, but I'm kind of leaning another way, with a different perspective for this, because when it comes to risking it all, there's levels to risking it all. There are things that you learn about risking it all that really throws you off. So today we are going to really talk about the aspect of stopping yourself from stopping yourself, and like, what does that really look like? So let me see who's all on here, because I want to greet you all that are coming in. So if you're coming in, if you could say something to me. I think it's like a new feature on here where I can't really see what's going on. Just swipe left to reveal comments, but I can't see them. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and get started because my bedtime is going to be approaching. 10 o'clock. All right, so here's this. When it comes to risking it all, let's just be clear. Most people are trying to figure things out. Like, most people are trying to figure out what it is that they are going to do in this life. They are trying to figure out what it is they are going to do with situations that have been difficult for them. Most people are trying to figure out how to have a comeback after a life transition, after something major has happened. Most people are just trying to figure out how to live this entrepreneurship life. Some people are trying to figure out how to be a mother, how to be a daughter, how to be a student. Whatever role that you play in your life, whatever hat that you wear, whatever shoes that you walk in, everybody is going to have some sort of life path that they're going to have to figure out. Everybody's got something that they are going to have to determine what it is and how much of them they're going to need to give, how much of them is going to need to be taken away, who the people are that they need to be surrounded by. Everybody is going to enter into a place where you start growing. And when you start growing, it's going to feel uncomfortable because it's going to be something that you're not used to. Life doesn't come with the manual, as we all know that. So we are depending on each other and other people to kind of help us guide through life as we begin to, find out more about what it means to what it means to live. Like, what does it mean to be here on the face of this earth? What do we need to be watered with? What it is we need to be grown with? So as we begin to just move through this cycle, those are things that we think about. So I took some notes on some ways that you can kind of really sabotage you risking it all. And one of the first points that I really stress when it comes to you risking everything and really stopping yourself, and stopping yourself doesn't have to be stopping yourself from entrepreneurship or stopping yourself from whatever you may be wanting to do, ideas, dreams, goals, relationships, marriages, kids, whatever you have your eyes set on. The very first thing that I find a lot of people doing is comparing themselves to other people. It is not your job. Like, you are not, the idea is to become what it is that what you are supposed to be here on earth. The idea is to become into yourself. The idea is to walk into who you are and allow your life's experiences to shape you, to allow your life's experiences to help change and transform your perspectives, your habits, your beliefs. It is never to compare yourself to anybody, because you're not supposed to look like other people. You're not supposed to breathe like other people. You're not supposed to think, act, or anything like anybody else. That's not the goal here in life. If you're going to risk everything, at least risk it being yourself. At least risk it liking what you like. At least risk it doing what you want to do, loving who you love and what you love. If you're going to risk it all, make sure that you are doing it standing on the foundational principles that you want to be known for. Make sure you're doing it with some values and ethics about you. Make sure you're doing it with some integrity, and that you're doing it with love. You're doing it so that you can evolve along the way. Comparing yourself is going to make you hate this life. It's going to make you feel unfulfilled. It's going to make you feel as if what you're here to do is will never get to you. So that's the very first thing that it's one of the points that you have to outgrow. The second one is you have to learn how to live. You have to learn what it means to be unapologetically you, what it means to wear what you want to wear, to say what you would like to say, of course, when it's time to say it. It also means being able to defend yourself, being able to have, how to argue fair. Being able to have a decent conversation and how to say things that need to be said, so that you're not walking around carrying conversation that you wish you had with somebody. It also means learning how to live and build for real relationships with people, how to have authentic connections with people where it's not based off you needing something from them all the time, or you just being an opportunist, or you being somebody who is looking for a way to build their name. People are not looking for people who are trying to build things off of their back. They're just not. So when you out here risking it all and you're out here, going after your hopes and dreams and goals, make sure that you do it in a way where you are learning how to live alongside with other people. Learning how to live alongside with other people that doesn't cause you to have to be in isolation in order for you to feel like you're at your best. That doesn't make you feel intimidated when you walk in a room with people that may know more or less of you. Learn how to live in a way that it allows you to ask questions of the environment, to ask questions of people where you don't feel less than for seeking knowledge and for seeking information. The biggest takeaway here is my mom used to always tell me, and she still tells me to this day, that, you are going to have problems. Like, let's just be honest. 90% of most people's issues or people problems. The other 10% is just like how you handle them. That's real life. That's real. But we spend so much time in the 90% of people's problems that we begin to love ourselves less, that we begin to disconnect from who we are, and we stop ourselves based off of what someone else said or someone else did or said to us, or how they engage with us. But my mother always says this to me. She says, it does not matter how people treat you. We feel it, yes. She never said that the emotions don't come. She never tells me that we are not going to hurt off of words. She never tells me that there won't be situations that I never want to happen. But she does tell me that I am responsible for my actions. I'm responsible for what comes out of my mouth and what I say and what I do. So if you are ever in a situation where you feel like you are slowing down and you are stopping what you're working on or what you're doing because of a situation, how anybody engaged with you, or if it could be a big old mountain you're staring at. Your task and your job right now could be so greater than you that it's difficult for you to even figure out, how am I going to get over that? I've never did this before. I never had anybody to show me how to do it. I'm afraid to invest in it and get somebody to show me how to do it, because even if I invest in it and it goes wrong, I don't want to waste my time. But here's the irony about all of that, is that you're not going to know a lot of these things unless you allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Allow yourself to ask those questions and at least try to go over those mountains that seem way too big for you. That it's okay if a mountain is not too big for you. If you actually have a lot of control over how you get over a mountain, I actually think that if you have that much control of what it looks like getting over that mountain, that you are actually not in a place of living fulfilled, because that means you need to know what the outcome is going to be. That means you need to know what is that going to feel like. You're actually not really in tune and aligned with yourself, because you're really protecting yourself from having to fail. You're protecting yourself, and you don't even have to fail. You could be protecting yourself from actually exposure, humiliation, right? Embarrassment. A lot of those words and things that we don't like to talk about because it's uncomfortable for us to talk about shame or feeling as if we're, carrying regret. And a lot of times it's okay to feel that. These emotions are okay to feel. These emotions are okay for you to have. What also accompanies those emotions and supports those is when you learn how to communicate to your emotions so that you can help regulate that and start living outside of what you saw, what you feel, what was said, what was done, and how you treat yourself. So that's one of the other things that is something that you have to outgrow, right? Another thing is, you know, do what you need to do. Let's just be real. Like, you have to do what you need to do. Not doing it does not mean, prolonging it or procrastinating does not mean that it won't ever have to get done. There are things that only you can do. There are things that have to be done by you. There are things that you can't put off on anybody else to do. There's work that only your hands and you being here was created to do. And so knowing that, you will encounter some things that will scare you. You will encounter some things that will shake you. But one thing that I have learned is there is a positive fear and there is fear that is immensely torture, okay? There is a positive fear and there's fear that will make you feel miserable. But you have to be able to feel that fear. In the middle of all of that, feel that fear and allow yourself to start finding out what is the base of this fear. Like, what is the root of this? Where is this coming from? That I feel as if I cannot accomplish this, or I start telling myself that this is too hard, or somebody else needs to do this in order for this to happen, that you start passing stuff off to other people when it's really stuff that needs to be done in your hands. See, some of you are giving over things to other people that really have to be done by you. So it doesn't matter whatever deposit you made and invested in other people. If it was for you to do and to come out of your hands, it's going to come back around. This life cycle is going to bring it right back to you until you do it. And the crazy part about that is I know people who experience regret after regret, year after year. And like, I don't know what took me so long to write that book. I don't know what took me so long to start that blog. I don't know what took me so long to start accepting myself. I don't know what took me so long to say I was sorry. I don't know what took me so long to be kind. I don't know what took me so long to ask all those questions. And then the moment that they do it, they feel their relief because they have created this idea that if they actually did what was actually in front of them, they created this whole illusion that it wouldn't be good enough. Like it wouldn't be done the right way. So they try too hard to just manipulate and control and play with those, the idea of doing things. So you have to actually do what needs to be done. Whatever is supposed to come from your hands and from your mouth and from your interactions have to be done by you. Or it will come back around. You'll revisit that thing. And you want to make sure that you actually get it done, because you may be the link between the next person or somebody else's next move. Like we are ultimately working like this. We're interacting with each other simultaneously. Like you don't know that what you're about to say may be a prayer, an answered prayer to something that someone has had. You never know the impact that you may be having or being prepared to give. That's why you cannot be afraid to show up and do what you need to do. You cannot be afraid to do that, because you may be that link and that one decision and that one change of heart and mind between where someone is supposed to be or someone is supposed to be going. So you want to make sure that you're doing your part and not worrying about if it sounds too great or too little, or worrying about if it doesn't sound too large enough, or if it's not as much exposure as you would want it to have, if it's not as much as you would like to do. It's not a lot of this is really about you just doing your part. For real. So you got to get over you. You gotta get over not being over you and some of the things that you do. And my last but not least point of growth is just planning. You really, like, I never realized the effects of planning until things started to not really work the way I needed them to work, because I really didn't have a plan. And I know that's very vague, but try one day writing your things down and actually committing to what it is you want to do. Just try 1 hour. Just 1 hour, not even a whole day, and just commit to doing one thing for an entire hour and see how successful you are. And then try again doing another hour, not committing to anything, and see how good you do in that hour as well. Now, that may not be for people who are not used to having to write things down, or having to get clarity on things, or having to look at something in order to know what you're going after. Everything doesn't work for everybody. And so I want to make that really clear. You got to plan your life and figure out what it is that's going to work for you. Or you be looking up years later with shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and hoping that someone comes and saves you from your place of misery. And let's just be honest. A well-planned out life does not mean that obstacles are not going to come. A well-planned out life does not mean that you are not going to encounter life transitions. It does not mean that you have to be perfect. It does not mean that you cannot make any mistakes. It does not mean that you cannot have moments where you have to come back to yourself. Listen to me, y'all, very well. I just came off of at least a 5 to 6 month long, I don't even want to call it a sabbatical, like a straight up self-care, like really turning in and really working on what I need to work with. That's right. Even me. I'm not exempt from anything. No, I'm not exempt from experiencing anything. I am very much so a human being that will encounter things and that will have real life emotions, So I try not to put anybody too far ahead or too low, because one thing about that is you never know. You never know the way the story is going to end. You never know. So it's best to just be a great manager of who you are and evolve and grow and outgrow a lot of things. There are some of you all have some things that it's really time to uproot some stuff, cut some things out. Take some things, let some things go, get rid of some things, end some sort of conversations that you may be having. Some of you all really need to get a hold of some of the habits that you may be doing, some of the things that may be destructive and toxic, because we all have stuff. Let's be clear, we all have stuff. But the idea here is to stop yourself from stopping yourself. And whatever is stopping you is that stuff. Because that stuff stands between you and where you're trying to go. That stuff becomes dangerous. When you comparing yourself, when you really was just born and created to only be you. When you're not learning how to live, you can work and you can work yourself crazy, but you still have to learn how to live. What does it mean to survive? What does it mean to breathe and feel and understand how to put a title to a certain emotion? What does it mean to have a conversation that is fair? What does it mean to have a way of constructively doing things? What does it mean to handle things in with some grace? What does it mean to do that? What does that look like? What does that feel like? Imagine if some areas in your life got cleaned out, how much of your world will shift. Imagine if you decluttered your thoughts and you start getting rid of some things and allowing yourself to actually change and spend some time with yourself, so it's not so uncomfortable for you to be with you and to be alone with you. Imagine if you didn't try to make it to everything, but you only went to the things that really, really aligned with how you want to impact in life. Some of you all, you cannot be connected to everything. Let's just be clear. And I'm not saying it's because all this stuff is just toxic and all that. No, that's not what I'm saying. Let me be clear. If you are really trying to figure out what your life path is, then you really only have time to incorporate things that are needful. That's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. So don't go out talking about Christian said, because she ain't say nothing like that. But what I am going to, kind of close it off on is making sure you are doing the things that are needed and a part of the things that you need to be a part of. So that you can be aligned and you can live a fulfilling life and feel as though you are accomplishing something and you can actually do it. Because you need to just as much as we watch these motivational videos and we get this information and we consume so much, just as much as you take in, you need to know just how much of that you need and how much of that needs to actually be worked on by you. Because if you're just taking in stuff, if you never use it, you never apply it, you never anything, you just how my hands keep moving. That's it. You're just going in circles. That's all. You're just going in circles. Constantly moving and going nowhere. And then at the end, you start feeling as if you haven't made it. And I don't want that gear for nobody. Like, I don't want that gear for you. I want you to reach out and ask for help. If you have a question or you want to ask me something, or if I don't have the answer, I'm good at connecting y'all to my friends. Like, I'm good at connecting y'all with somebody that may be beneficial to you all. But listen, make sure you are positioning yourself for where you need to be. Make sure you are aligning yourself with where you need to be. All right? Make sure you are doing that. And listen, so thank you all for definitely watching and tuning in. I'm going to wrap it up because I know my bedtime is approaching. But with that being said, you can always stay connected with me here as a Facebook friend. Of course, I appreciate watching each and every one of you all, and also thank you for connecting with me, even if you're watching this on replay. Also, you can also get more you can connect with me more through our Facebook page at My Secrets Purpose. So just at My Secrets Purpose on there and on Instagram. Another way that you can also connect is come out to the Mental and Emotional Wellness Symposium. It will be held on June 29th at 10:30 a.m. at the Indian Trails branch. It is a free event to help position you, like really get you in front of professionals that can really help you start learning how to work through some of these burnout situations in your life, help you work through how you're processing your information, and also how you are actually integrating your environment. Is it helping you live a lifestyle that you actually want to live? Find out, are the things you're doing right now, are they helpful or are they hurtful? But most importantly, it's about the safe space. It's about the space for you to be with professionals and be around people to help you feel normal, to know that, yes, we may deal with these things from a day-to-day basis, but guess what? There's also relief. There's also relief for you. And there are people that are out here that are working on it just like you. Just like you. And you can catch other events on mysecretspurpose.com, and that is secrets with the S. So mysecretspurpose.com, you can catch more there. So thank you all for watching, and I hope that these got your brain going and thinking about different ways that you can stop yourself from stopping yourself. And you can risk it all, but what are we risking? All right, so peace.